What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. I'm getting this video out a little bit late, but that's fine. So this is the Invoked. I'm going to call it Spellbook of Invoked Dogmatika. I think it sounds kind of cool. This is a pretty good opening hand. Super Poly's just crazy. They let it stick around for another format, so like I'm going to use it. Super Poly is actually like not like too shabby in this deck either, considering that you're going to be adding a lot of spells to your hand. So like you should have pretty decent discard fodder. We'll see what I end up drawing into. I kind of just need like any spell, and like Knight of Servant obviously was like the best case scenario. But even if it was like the I can't think of the dang name of it now, with the field spell, Magical Meltdown. But this normally, like this is normally enough. You know what I mean? Like your opponent can activate Super Poly. If it's Dark Ruler, obviously, like I actually even had the answer for it. So this was just kind of like GG's for game one, which is cool. Like that's why you play this deck. It's a win condition, right? Your opponent normal summons anything, and then you just win. Like that's how the deck works. And this is actually against Kshatri Law, I think is how it is pronounced. I know I can never say that name, but here I am. So he blew me out in game two, and I opened Spellbook of Judgement again, which is just kind of crazy. Opening looks very similar, except I have Jowgen in hand, which is very unfortunate. So we'll see what ends up happening. He's going to mill the top three cards. I only activated 2 spells. So really not in a good spot. Not in a good spot at all. But, you know, I think Drawing Lockbird is actually a pretty good card right now. Not going to lie. And if that's all he's got and he can't add anything, I'm sitting really well. I don't even know if he should have activated that during my turn. Maybe because he thought I activated 3 spells. I don't know if he didn't count or something like that. But yeah, I mean, you let me stick around for one more turn, like you're cooked, absolutely cooked. You're into a Super Poly. This like they're pushing the heck out of Dogmatica, obviously. that new card that I'll probably make a video about is just absolutely insane, and maybe we'll have a place in this deck. I don't know. So I just get the body out so I don't draw into it. It's just an extra body as well. I do not want the field spell to go off. He does go for Fenrir, and then I'll just banish it. And he's going to special summon this, and then I think he's going to try to attack. I do have Adagnister shuffling that back into the deck, and I think that's all she wrote pretty much. All I have to do is special summon Fleur, normal summon Jowgen, so he really is like super done. He did have Dark Ruler no more, which you think would be pretty good, but there isn't going to be a next turn. Normally on the crackback, like, that's kind of the best reason to play like Invoked in it, is that you don't let your opponent go to the next turn. This is just going to be a bunch of really random stuff. This is Madolche, by far the most boring deck ever. Second, maybe only to Trains. I cannot think of a more boring deck to play than Trains. Hand is decent. I'm still messing around, like I said. I think Book of Moon's kind of cool. Forbidden Droplets is obviously just better, but if you don't want to spend the money and you want to spend $1 versus $25 for a copy, for a card that serves a fairly similar function, then this is the card for you. So Spellbook of Secrets can search me Judgment, and he's going to go ahead and negate that. This card puts a lot of pressure on your opponent, obviously. So then I can go ahead and Book of Moon. That way I can special summon for the rest of the turn. I can normal summon my Invoked, my Alistair the Invoker. I don't know, I just said that. And then this is like normal Invoked Dogmatika, which is pretty funny. Kind of have to go for Makaba, right? I guess I could have gone for Purgatrio, but he has 4 cards in hand. And I'd rather have an interruption. I think I'm going to be able to do some pretty decent stuff. So I can at least pop a card and then go to the battle phase. Well, I think this is actually protected by Angeli. So I should not have... Okay. It cannot be destroyed by battle. I should have attacked this one then. I don't like reading. Reading's hard. But I can go ahead. This card's good. It's Book of Moon, or it's just a banish. Doesn't really matter. And he did not have an extender in his hand, so Ripperoni there. Kind of unfortunate for him. This is against Raid Raptor. This was actually kind of interesting board, but Super Poly is really cool. Been experimenting with Fusion Destiny, but it's not all that great. I don't even think... I think by the time I use it in this duel, it's like way over. So that's probably going to be gone. This will probably be a Nibiru when it's all said and done. Because the idea is when you're going second, like, you don't need Jowgen. If you, like, open it, obviously, it's bad. And you don't, like, the crackback, it doesn't... Like, if you're breaking the board, you're going to win anyways, like, 99% of the time. So I take out Spellbook of Judgement and a bunch of the Spellbook engine. Basically only bringing back the Spellbook of Knowledge, Spellbook of Secrets, and the Master, the one that banishes, or Book of Moons. And then you can take out everything else, which actually frees up quite a bit of space. So he's going to go for a full board, but I have Super Poly, and I know he's going to try to set me up, you know, with the Phantom Knight's rank up magic launch. But it will not be an issue because I will be able to get rid of it. Garua is just a really good card, although I think I end up using Mud Dragon. I'm pretty sure. This, yeah, that's, what are you going to do? So he does have also Ultimate Falcon, but that doesn't really do anything. So he's going to bring this back, you know, to match up there with rank up magic launch. And then during the draw phase, this card is just stupidly overpowered, obviously. I can activate Magical Meltdown, normal summon there. I think I end up drawing into like Nadir's Servant, which is kind of unfortunate, which leaves me with a little bit of a choice, but I drew into Nadir's Servant and Dogmatika, like, and Fleur-de-Lis, so it's like, I don't even know if it's worth it. So I'm just going to start popping his back row, and I guess I have follow-up for Fusion Destiny. That's why this card's kind of meh in this deck. And then I can go ahead and send to, he's going to like have no cards left in his extra deck. I can negate there, get over a couple of these cards, and probably just go from there. So Titanclad can go ahead and search. It's going to give me another Ecclesia. It's just a free extra card from the deck. Why not? Probably should have sent something else. Maybe Tri-Brigade Fergide or something. I don't know. He's going to go ahead and get over Fleur, but I mean, if this is all he has, then he is pretty cooked. So I can normal summon Alistair. This is like, I think this is all just extra. So that I can just bring this back to my hand. I do love this card. I think it's also quite good in this format, especially when you think about it against Sprite. Tier, it's also pretty good in. And then I can go ahead and hit double there. This goes to 4,500. No real issue getting over big stuff in this deck. Not really an issue. You have a lot of stuff, ways to get rid of it. Master and then Alistair just naturally. Okay, so I do not have like a reliable way, you know, to do this. I was trying to play around Ash Blossom, although this is probably kind of extreme. Although I guess it kind of worked out in the end, right? I have a Book of Moon. Well, I don't actually. The only problem is that you have to control a spellcaster. So I am still learning how to play this deck optimally. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing ever, but there definitely is a way to play this better than what I have right now. This is just kind of like initial proof of concept, and then I'll do like a deck profile and bonus gameplay. So he's going to bring back, you know, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. I'm pretty much just waiting for my opportunity to activate Super Poly. This is like a very bad matchup for them. I draw into another Super Poly, no big deal. I can grab Invocation. And then, you know, have some protection there. That's kind of the whole point. Can't be destroyed by card effects. And it's a pop every time he special summons, which is a pretty good interruption. Especially considering, like, I know he's using the Adventure Engine. This is Small World. Let's see what he ends up using it for. So he's going to go ahead and send a dragon to the graveyard. Actually putting a wind, which is not good for him. So Small World can go ahead and search. He's going to search a Black Metal Dragon. Attack and do this purposely so that he can get both the effects off, which is pretty good. And he's going to bring out a Red Eyes Black Metal. I can go ahead and pop this because otherwise he would attack me again. And then he just sends out a Malefic Red Eyes. So I can go ahead and normal summon, activate the effects, go into Invoked Raijin, which actually is like very good. It's kind of like a weird Called by the Grave in a sense. Did not mean to attack in that order. Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Reading attack. Like, reading cards are hard enough. You expect me to also read their attack and defense. Another Alistair. I'm just going to keep the train running. Although I guess I don't really need to, right? I can just go for game. Surprisingly, he doesn't have a Red Eyes in the graveyard. You would think, in a Red Eyes deck. This is against Runic. Let's see what I end up activating here. Spellbook of Secrets, I'm sure, is going to grab me. I end up grabbing a Judgment. I think I actually end up being short one. Because this does not count before. I feel like it should, but it has to, like, fully resolve or something. I don't know. That's the only reason I did that, but it's whatever. It doesn't really matter. So Ecclesia can come down. I actually ended up drawing into Maximus and Fleur, which is just so, like, what are the chances? This is always nice. It's just, these are free cards, obviously, and this is just something you get out of the deck. Like, you don't need it, right? If you top deck it during your turn, that's bad. So I have the Ash, which is like pretty much just the way to beat this deck. It's actually like just not that good, I feel like. And nothing really in this deck that has Banish matters at all, other than like Invocation. That would suck. But during the end phase, or like he's attempting to go to end phase, I can negate this and then send a card. That's Elder. He has no cards in hand to use. I have Spellbook of Fate. I haven't, Alistair the Invoker. So, like, the Alistair Dogmatika engine is still formidable. I don't, is that the best way to describe it? Main decking Twin Twisters. Pretty bold choice, not going to lie. Although I do suppose that's, Mystic Mine is out there. This should be a full board once again. We'll see what I end up getting off the top. Although I think he doesn't really have that great of extenders. He also has just locked himself into darks, which is like never a great thing for Raid Raptors. So we'll see what he ends up doing here. Shouldn't be anything too crazy. We'll see what I get off the top. So you can go ahead and summon there. And I think I'm just able to stop this because there's no real great place to Ash Raid Raptor. Really, really isn't. So he's not going to be able to finish his combos out. So, like, that's the reason I never play this version of the deck. It is just so, I don't know. I'd rather just go for, like, more negates and stuff and be able to hit through hand traps. So I can go in for Invoked Macabre. He's going to try to use the effective Nightmare. Of course, I will just go ahead and negate that. This Flare wasn't doing anything anyways. Add that back to my hand. Add your servant. I can start picking off his back row. One is a Twin Twisters. We'll see what the other one is. It's also Twin Twisters. At the time, obviously, I didn't know. But I can go ahead and destroy that too. This deck has a lot of tools for going second. So I can go ahead and get over this. This, if it's sent to the graveyard, it brings something back. So I decided that I would wait to use this. Actually, I'm going to use Spellbook of Wisdom during my opponent's turn because I want to protect this the most. I'm just going to say spell cards for randomly. But now I have 3 spellbooks in the graveyard so I can banish it. That way it doesn't get its effect off. And he's going to go ahead and bring this back out. I think he's going to try to use the effect of this. So I have that extra Ecclesia that I searched. So I can go ahead and negate there. And that's just the end of the duel. That's pretty cool. I was able to, break through that. This is Trap Eldritch, and actually, Jowgen is, like, so good against Trap Eldritch. I think their only real out is, like, Skill Drain, and he did not grab that, and I just cannot believe it. Like, is Skill Drain not crazy? I don't know. But he's playing Wall Revealing Light. That's kind of hilarious. Card is not good. So I can go ahead and search, Punishment, and I'm just going to be able to search a bunch here. And this is, like, pretty cool, obviously. But I did only have 2 spell cards again, so I think that if I start playing the Ritual monsters, like, I think I'll be off on a better foot, so he just summoned an Eldritch, but I have, like, the best card against Eldritch, and that's Spellbook of Fate. I'm really just waiting for him to activate Conquistador. And again, if you let this deck survive, like, I obviously didn't do very well. I only got a draw and lock burn and a couple cards from the deck, but if you didn't kill me on the next turn, like, you're cooked. So he's gonna search in Harpy's Feather Duster, which is pretty cool. The card's obviously pretty nice. And there we go. Finally, activates Conquistador. I just banish this, so that way that card does nothing. And then I can just keep popping his back. I knew that was Harpies, and I was gonna set a few, so this ended up working out pretty well. He does go for Scarlet Sanguine. And I can go ahead and draw 2 cards. Such a good flex spot for a whole lot of reasons. And then I can send Elder, popping his back row. It is Scarlet, which was actually kind of confusing. So I draw a couple of cards. Again, I'm probably going to take out Fusion Destiny. As much as it's like a decent going second card, it just doesn't really do enough. So he's also just going to go for this. He's going to pop this, which is fine. I can go ahead and shuffle that last card back. And he's going to attack for a little bit of damage. But, I mean, look how many... look at the card disparity between us. It's just so wild. And then I can activate Fusion Destiny. I don't really need to special summon for the rest of the turn. I can go ahead and get over this. Pop this and the other monster there. He does go for Scarlet, which... basically, all I need to do now is normal summon a Spellcaster monster, activate Spellbook of Fate, have a bunch in the graveyard, and banish that copy. So now, like, these are just useless. He can't use these cards if he plays another Eldritch in the first place. He can't even special summon Conquistador. He can't special summon monsters. What are you going to do? And, yeah. So that's Spellbooks as it is right now. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.